Hello, I'm Steve Shaw, National Coordinator of Football Officials and Secretary Rules Editor for the NCAA. And today we're continuing our series of training videos for the 2022 season, and we're going to be focused on game action from Week 8. Now, before we get into our video, first I want to say thank you for the good work so far this season. We're having a good year, but we've got to work hard and prepare well to continue that momentum. I know we're getting later in the season, but don't let up on your pregame conferences. Do everything we can do so we're ready when we walk out on the field. The games are going to just raise their intensity level, and we've got to meet that and be ready to work. Now, a quick update on our targeting statistics. In FBS, we've had 98 targeting fouls enforced, and that's one targeting foul in every 5.6 games. And in FCS, we've actually had one targeting foul in every 7.7 games, and that trend is down, and that is overall good. Now, we get a lot of questions. Is targeting the right rule? Are we looking at the right type behavior? Let me remind you, player safety is what targeting is all about, and we've got to do our job here. But the Pac-12 did a study. It was a multi-year study involving over 500 games, and they were looking at the incident of concussions. And here's what they found. On plays where there was a targeting call, the risk of concussion was 36.9 times greater than that of a regular play. And on plays where we had a targeting call and replay confirmed the call, the risk of concussion was 49 times that of a regular play. So we're identifying the right type plays in the rule that we want to get out of the game. We're changing player behavior. We've got to continue to do our job, but the targeting rule makes the game safer for our players, and that's good for the game of football. So with that, let's get on into our plays. Our first play this week is a two-play vignette, and it's a follow-up to our play interpretation bulletin from last week on the jet sweep action and the short flip by the quarterback. Now, on the first play, we see this action, and we would consider this short flip by the quarterback a forward pass. And remember, if this pass hits the ground, it's incomplete, or if the quarterback catches their own pass after this short flip, it's a completed forward pass to the quarterback, and the quarterback now cannot make a second forward pass. But all good here, well done by the crew. The second play, we see the reason for this design. The quarterback is going to take the snap, make the short flip to the jet sweeper number one. The ball is going to be muffed. It hits the ground, and then we see the line judge coming in immediately and ruling incomplete pass, killing the play. So well done. No hesitation here. We're prepared. Very good work. Play two, we want to continue to focus on quality fouls. Now, the quarterback fakes to the back, number 23, and the back is going to block a defender who's breaking free from the center, and we get a flag from our referee for a chop block. Now, as we go back and take a look at the end zone view from behind the offense, we see the center loses his block on the defender, 23 comes in to help, and so does right guard, number 64. But remember, on the chop block definition, it states that the low block component must be at the opponent's thigh or below. And it appears that the low component here by 23 is right at the waist or hip of the defender. Now, it might present as a low block, but we must see the low block component, all the contact, and be sure before we throw our flag for a chop block. Remember, quality fouls. In our last view, it might be tough here for the center judge or umpire to help because both are really blocked out from this action. So let's make sure we see all of the block before we get our marker out. Play three, we're late in the game, 8 seconds remaining, and we get a throw to number 9 who catches the ball and tries to pitch it back to trailer number 4. And the ruling on the field is catch and down. And we see the headline judge coming in, pointing down to kill the play, and the clock then goes to 0. But was it a catch? Was it incomplete? And if so, was there time left on the clock? Or was it a catch fumble? Or was it a catch backward pass? So that's a critical ruling at the end of the game, and replay is going to come in on this, and we get an announcement from our referee.
The previous play is under further review.
Now, referees, make sure that we always announce the ruling on the field, but it's especially critical in these end-of-game situations. Now, we come back and take a look, and we're going to see that to complete the catch, the receiver must first gain firm control, which he does. He must get a body part down, and he's got 2 feet down. And then there's the timing element. The receiver must maintain control of the ball long enough to enable that player to perform an act common to the game. And we see here that the receiver clearly pitches the ball back toward the teammate. So the pass is complete. Number 9's knees are down. They're short of the line to gain. So the clock properly continues to run. It goes to 0, and the game is over. Replay can ultimately confirm the ruling on the field of catch and down. Game over. Play 4, we're 3rd and goal at the 2. The quarterback hands to number 3, who cuts through a hole in the defense and is into the end zone. Now, after the score, number 3 performs an act, and this is a new thing that's out there now, but it's called wipe the nose. And as we all know in Rule 921, we have a list of the automatic unsportsmanlike conduct fouls in the rule book. For example, the throat slash is an automatic unsportsmanlike conduct foul. And even though this signal is somewhat close to the throat slash, as we know from our interpretation bulletin number 2 from last week, the wiping of the nose is not considered an automatic unsportsmanlike act by rule and is not a foul. But if the action is directed at an opponent, and if in our judgment it's intended to taunt or demean that opponent, then it is an unsportsmanlike act. But standalone like this, it is no foul. Play 5, we see the home team is wearing their colored green jerseys, but the visitors come out and they're wearing their colored jerseys as well. And as a reminder of the rule here, we know that the visiting team should wear white. However, the home team can wear white if the teams have agreed in writing before the season. But if the home team wears their colored jerseys, as we have here, the visiting team may also wear their colored jerseys if the following 2 conditions have been satisfied. Number 1, the home team is agreed in writing prior to the game, and the conference of the home team certifies the jersey of the visiting team is of contrasting colors. And that's what we have here. Both teams went through the process. Both teams were in compliance here, so we're all good. Now, if the process isn't followed on the jersey color, we know that a team in violation of the rule will lose 1 timeout at the beginning of every quarter and will receive a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the opening kickoff of each half. Now, this same penalty applies if a team wears a jersey that does not meet the rule in terms of visibility of the numerals on the jersey. So, good job here. Everything was done well, and it's a good look. Play 6, the quarterback drops back. He eludes pressure, and then he's going to throw downfield. We see number 5 for the defense intercepts the ball, and then he's going to get up, and it looks like he removes his helmet. Now, I received a lot of questions on this. Why was this not an unsportsmanlike conduct foul? But as we go back and take a closer look, we see that the play really jarred the helmet loose, and even though number 5 finished the job of removing the helmet, I don't see this as unsportsmanlike, but the helmet is off, and we need to make sure that this player, number 5, does not play the next play, and he stays out. Now, replay is going to come in on this, and they're going to overturn this interception to incomplete. And it's a very tight play as we look at the replays. Very, very close. I'd strongly consider stands on this, but what I want to point out is when we line up for the next play, we have number 5 back in the game. And I know these type situations are difficult, but we need to stay alert and think it through, especially when we have a delay such as a replay, an injury timeout, a media timeout. Don't lose sight of, if we have a player out of the game, well, on the backside of the stoppage, don't get caught flat-footed. Make sure that we're alert to these players coming back in the game. Play 7 is 4th down. We've got another kick play where we need to be on high alert. Now, the punter muffs the snap. He tries to get the ball back, and then he's going to kick it, and number 11 of the kicking team recovers the ball behind the line, tries to advance, but is tackled behind the original line of scrimmage. Now, we have no call on the field, But since it was 4th down, we turned the ball over to the receiving team at the end of number 11's run. But as we go back and take a look at the action, we see that the ball is loose and bouncing along the ground, and the kicker comes up and is guilty of illegally kicking the ball. Now, replay is going to stop the game to review the play, and we get an announcement by our referee after review.
After further video review, the punter illegally kicked the ball while it was on the ground at the 27-yard line. Be a 10-yard penalty from the illegal kick, and the ball goes over on downs. 1st and 10, James Madison.
Now, the punter did illegally kick the ball at about the 27, so the penalty would take the ball back to the 17, and with loss of down, the receiving team takes over at this point, and that's about a 21-yard difference in where the play ended. That's a big deal, but illegally kicking the ball is not one of our reviewable fouls, and we can't use 12-3-7 even if this has a significant impact on the game, because the rule is clear that within the obvious errors clause, we exclude fouls that are not specifically reviewable. This is a dangerous precedent, and this call, the call for illegally kicking the ball, must come from the field. Our last play this week, the offense has 4th down, there's 6 seconds left on the clock, and it's a 1-score game. Now, the offense snaps the ball, the quarterback takes it. He really wants to just drain the clock on the play, and he's going to throw high downfield, and the clock goes to 0 as the play ends. Now, we see the head coach of the defense, he wants an intentional grounding call, but as we look at the play from the end zone view, we see that the tackle box, and specifically the right tackle, and if we use the logo in the center of the field as our guide, there's no question that the quarterback is outside the tackle box when he releases the ball, and the ball crosses the line, so there's no foul for grounding. Now, replay is going to stop the game to check on the clock, and we can see from a split screen, TV does a great job here, we can see the real superimposed clock, and the clock goes to 0 before the ball hits the ground. So replay confirms the call on the field, and this is good work on the field and in replay. Now, just a quick what if on the play. Had this been grounding, we know that it would have been loss of down at the spot of the foul. And normally, the period is not extended if the penalty statement for the foul by the team in possession includes loss of down. But that's at the option of the offended team. And the offended team definitely would want one more play here, so we would extend the game in that situation. Well, that's it for our plays this week, and let's use these plays as learning opportunities. Discuss them in your pregame conferences. Now, today, we want quality fouls. Make it be there before you get your marker out. Make sure we use great communications with our coaches, players, and other officials. Use your winning words. And finally, display integrity, courage, and poise throughout the day. Let the tight situations reveal your true character. And as we head down the home stretch to our season, the competition gets more fierce and the games are more critical every week, more on the line. And that's what makes our game great, and that's what challenges us every week to be our absolute best. So let's be ready when we walk through that tunnel. Best of luck to all, and stay safe and healthy.